Hello and welcome to AfriDominion. I am Freeman Singirankabon. Thank you so much for tuning into our program today. And those of you joining us live for the very first time, welcome guys. We are so thrilled that you can find some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. And if you are returning, thank you for trusting us to hang out with you during this 1 hour of broadcast. If you are very new here, we'd love for you to have our contact information so that you can get in touch with us, especially when we are offline, so that we can discuss some other things that we don't necessarily have some airtime to discuss as it is happening right now. So if you don't have our contact information, please write it down. Our main website is www.afridominion.com. www.afridominion.com. Our email is info@afridominion.com. info@afridominion.com. We also noticed that some of you guys constantly are asking our phone number just in case you want to give us a call, because this is an open line. You can call it at any given time, especially when we are having live broadcast, and that number is +1 240 626 7268 +1 240 626 7268. And with that in mind, guys, a huge welcome to every single one of you from wherever it is that you are all around the world. Today we are Wednesday, July 16th. And here at AfriDominion Studio, we are 12:02 p.m. Guys, so much is happening, and we'd love to jump right in it without wasting any time. And today we've brought in one of those, I don't want to call it a sensitive topic, but nevertheless, it's a challenging topic to every single one of us. Whether you are young, whether you are semi-old, or whether you are an old person, meaning you could be a teenager, you could be in your 20s, you could be in your 30s, all the way to our grandparents. So today's topic, it goes something like this. In today's complex world, where do you get money without compromising yourself or your principles? And this is what we want to talk to you guys about. Now, I would hope, it is my prayer that young people that we are going to be discussing today, or that we would love to be sharing with you today. Young people are constantly falling in the trap of not fully understanding what's happening to their lives, especially right now that we have all kinds of hassles in our lives. Guys, there is nothing wrong hustling. Hustling is such an amazing thing to do, and you are constantly told, hey, learn how to take care of yourself, because if you do not learn how to take care of yourself, you will forever be depending on somebody else. And oftentimes when you depend on somebody else, you have self-esteem issues because you feel insecure every time you're not on good terms with that person that you are depending on. So just to ensure that this conversation is very fruitful, guys, what are my benchmarks today? Remember, I just told you the whole entire topic: how do you find money without compromising yourself, without compromising your principles? Now, I immediately draw 3 different categories. Okay, teenagers, that's one category. We have now the young people. A young person, don't feel offended, all people, or those who are a bit higher in ages, from 20, or let me say from 21. Okay, from 21 all the way to maybe 40, 45. That's the middle age bracket. And then from 46 going up, life has already happened, and you're sort of like navigating through. Okay, so how do you find money without compromising yourself, without compromising your principles? For the teenagers, when you're just starting work, today's social media, it's such one of those tools that influences every single day's lives out of all those 3 brackets. And lately, we have been told that you have to work smarter, not harder. Guys, I want to tell you right up front, especially you as a younger person, there's no such thing as working smarter and not harder. Yes, it's a it's a narrative. Yes, those words exist, but the way you understand them versus the reality, that's what I want to confront today. And by the way, I want to keep it real. In other words, what I'm saying here, it's applicable to me the same way it could be applicable to you and so many others. Why am I bothering to bring this right now? We have our young brothers and sisters. If you're old enough to have given birth to someone who's in their teens, all the way to maybe 20, I'm talking to you, trying to help these people. Because we see what is happening right now, and you feel like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because one, you are a little bit of disconnected from that age brackets. That some things that they are doing, you can see it that you've done it before. But also, there are so many traps in today's world. We are being trapped in so many things that sometimes it's difficult to know when did you get trapped, what has happened. And that's what I want to confront today. So for young people, today's social media is one of the daily tools that you are using all the time. Literally, it's one of the daily tools that you find yourself utilizing all the time. And just because you're using it, it doesn't mean that it is always to your advantage. You have to be able to understand, hey, since you're hustling, try to find money. Are there ways that you could be trapped? Are there ways that you could be trapped? First and foremost, how old are you? If you're still a teenager, there is school to worry about. There is developing yourself in your small ways, trying to make sure that do your homework, participate into some activities that actually caters for you moving from teenager to the 20s, transitioning. In other words, start slowly getting a little bit of serious with yourself. If you're looking for some money, if you're looking for a job, find a work, find a job that is not going to put you in predicament with you with your friends. Of course, some jobs are not as sexy. You may find one of your peers who looks super sexy at work, and you want to have a job like that. And we know that that's just not reality in this world. Oftentimes, young people, you may find yourself having to, especially, also I want to put a classification from Europe to the United States to Africa. In the United States, for example, when you are old enough, I believe it's 15 and 9 months, you can actually go find jobs. From 15 and 9 months, you can literally have like a few hours of work every day. You may work at a fast food restaurant. You may work at a regular store that actually adheres or respects teenagers' hours. Because remember, you got homework to do. You got all these other things to do. So from your bracket age, start looking in your local, in your local places where you could maybe find work. Cut grass. Like when I was young, I used to cut grass in my neighborhood. In those ages. You kind of it's not a sexy job, but you find whatever it is that you can find that makes you happy, and so you can be able to connect with the real world scenario. Now, if you have a hard head, meaning if you're a little bit of stubborn and you are not necessarily listening to your parents or your guardians, life as a teenager is going to be a little bit tough. Why? Because now it seems like you are in a hurry to get out of your teenager years. Remember, you are being fed, you are being sheltered, you are being given everything. So the entire responsibility to take care of yourself lies with your parents or your guardians. While you're looking for money, you're looking for money for swags. You're looking for money for small things that you can do without, but because of the peer pressure, the world that we're living in today, you feel like it's a must-have. Okay? Now, when you no longer have that cushion, meaning your guardians or your parents, they're trying to get rid of you because you are being a little bit hard. You are being hard-headed, or you try the hard way to enjoy life or to live life. Those cushions are gonna go away with things like having to pay bills for the first time when you don't have a job, when you haven't finished school, when you barely in 9th grade, or 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grader, here like in the system in the United States, or when you are still in secondary school in Europe or Africa. Do not be in a hurry to get out of your teenager years and trying to get through these adult responsibilities. Guys, paying bills is no joke. I always tell some of my friends that in this world, the person that you're indebted to financially will always remember you. They're the one who sends you a postcard on holidays. They check in on all these weary days. Don't think that they are doing it because they love you. They're doing it because you are an asset to them. They want to make sure that they are in good terms with you, where they still know, hey, can we get our money back? Can our assets still come through? Your peers, your friends, your family members may forget to send you a postcard during a special holiday. But someone that you owe money will always do that so that they can maintain those open channels. So young people, you may not know it, but sometimes your peers are fronting. They're living a life that's superficial. Don't look in the lives of superstars or in entertainment industry and want to live like that, because there's a price that you have to pay, young people. Today we see a lot of you young men and women, you on social medias, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Remember, out of all those hours, you have 24 hours to live with on every single day, all of us. So if you're spending 4, 5, 6 hours, you have already skipped your homework. Remember, you are still in school. But because maybe the conversation is good, you do it today, you do it tomorrow, you start flunking in your classwork. Your parents or guardian trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with this child? Instead of you going out maybe and do some chores, you stuck on your phone because there is a conversation on social media. And then your friends be like, hey, you know what? You can hustle and make some money, because a lot of these social media now, they can pay you. They can gift you when you spend money. That's one way to make money. But if you choose to make money through social media, you got to be serious. And now you have to be consistent. And we know a lot of a lot of young people, your patience is as good as, somebody who sneezes. You get out of everything in every short time period. You do not stick with it because you have yet to develop like that. So because of that, you're constantly jumping into one thing to the next, 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 which is why you have a guardian, which is why you have a parent. So at least I want to encourage you to please learn how to have a few principles, or at least start learning how to have some principles, because these principles you are going to transition through in your 20s when you finish your high school. When high school is over and maybe you're going to college, there are things that you used to get away with as a teenager that you are not going to get away with in your 20s or in your early 20s. Like your parents will constantly hover on your neck, will constantly be all up in your business. But as soon as you transition through, nobody's gonna be all up in your business, and you will wish that someone was in your business when it's too late. When somebody, especially a parent or a guardian, is in your business, that's because they're looking after you. When you lose those teenager sweet years, then you are faced with real life. Your parent can come and get you out of jam. Your guardian can come and get you out of jam. They can give you some money. They can literally advance you with some funds because you're just trying to go to the movies, because you're just trying to go to do a little shop, trying to have swags. But when it comes time for you to fend it for yourself, it becomes very difficult. So earlier on in life, I have learned that, hey, I need to have a little small job. I used to cut grass. I used to cut grass. I worked for fast food restaurant. I worked for McDonald's back in the day as a kid. Like in my teenager years, I've done all those things. Fast food restaurant, cutting grass, running some basic chores where your patience and your attention span isn't something that is exclusively required of you. And then learn how to commit to time. If they say, we need you to be here with us for 2 hours, focus on those 2 hours and do whatever it is that they give you. If they say, hey, we need you for only 4 hours, during those 4 hours, put your phone down, focus on whatever it is that you have been given as a task and get it done. So from there, you start learning that, hey, not everything, revolves around you. Just because you're losing, the span of your attention doesn't mean that you got to let go of that task that's been given to you. Which is why even when the teacher gives you homework, they want you to take care of that time to do homework. Your homework may take you a lot of hours, 2, 3, 4 hours. At which point you get mad because your friends may be playing outside instead of doing their homework. So choices. Choose wisely. Which is why you need a guardian or a parent, someone who's not going to care whether you didn't play outside today before you finish your homework. They will be all up in your face, all up in your neck, try to say, hey, get this schoolwork done before you go play. Or if it's a cool parent or a cool guardian, they might figure out a way to make it work with you because they have seen where you have weaknesses as you develop. So now, let's go to the 20s. You no longer have your parent or your guardian hovering over you or breathing under you, breathing under your neck. Maybe you just finished your high school and now you got all kinds of social media accounts. First and foremost, you have no idea how to manage time. And guess what? In high school, they don't teach how to manage, how to manage your time. In college, they don't teach you how to manage time. You have to explicitly look that for yourself. Even for those of you who do not go to college, I don't know of any school outside that just teaches time management. Guys, every single human being on planet Earth, we all have 24 hours. But barely we know what to do with our 24 hours. And better yet, be consistent with it. So in your 20s, you have to learn how to manage your 24 hours. It's nagging. Sometimes it may mean that you forgot this and that. But if you've never thought of it, you find yourself in conflict with your friends. You find yourself conflict with your employers. You find yourself, in conflict with school. Whatever it is you're into, because you do not know how to reserve time for every single activity. You may be going to work and then you find your phone and you go on social media and you're distracted. You may be trying to do schoolwork and your friends call and you're like, oh, just for 2 minutes, and you pick up and you talk. You may be in class and then a friend of you texts you and you get distracted for 2 minutes and so on. It's like your attention span hasn't really developed as much, but now you are forced to do it because those of you whom you have committed time to, they're expecting you to spend that time. Now, in the age of social media, if there is anything that I have realized that is so difficult, it's time management. Whether you are young as in your teens, in your 20s, or those who are over 20s, all the way to being old. We have never been taught how to properly manage our time. And it shows in our daily activities. We have a hard time committing. We have a hard time respecting time because that has never been something that we have been taught to do consistently. You do it, but you feel like you are being constricted. And you can't wait to get out of that system, which is why most people don't like to go to work. Because at work, they want you to do one and only one thing. They don't want you to be distracted. When you're distracted, there's someone who's breathing in your neck and say, hey, what you're doing. And when you consistently do that, they get rid of you. No pity, no nothing. They don't want to hear whether it was a good joke on social media. They don't want to hear whether it was a sad story. They don't want to hear whether it's an emergency. You got to know how to deal with people's time. Especially when you say, I'm committing this time to you as my employer. So learn how to manage your time. When it comes to money, are you going to hustle on social media to make some money? Can you commit on 1 hour a day where you I want to really look for money? Can you commit on 2 hours, 3 hours? If you love being on social media, whichever platform that you want to be on, and your intention is to make money, figure out how you're going to make money in a way that it's not going to compromise you. Especially today, women, you easily become compromised. Even men, but women mostly. You go on this social media and you say, hey, today I want to make $20, $50 on social media. It starts easy One thing's lead to another, and before you know it, you're like, oh shoot, how did I get here? And you end up hating yourself. Make a plan on how you want to make money. And those plans, we are never taught how to make plan in school, which is why we get set up for failure from the very beginning. Very few schools, they teach you life skills where they become as important for you. And today, I want to tell you, young people, and those in your 20s, even us as old people, I believe it's about time that we learn how to keep it real with our friends, our families, our loved ones. Because if we do not keep it real and we have these recurring conflicts amongst ourselves, we are not helping each other. Today, a teenager is literally glued on a cell phone. They have all social media for teens, 20s, and above. And you know it is very difficult to keep your child from being on social media. But what are they doing on social media? They have these things called parental controls where you can check the time. You know, teenagers hate you to police the time that they have. Give them responsibilities to manage their time. But talk to them about the time management. Don't just let them figure out on their own, because that's something that they have never learned. The same way you have never learned it, we have never learned it. You start learning how to manage time when you get a real job. Meaning when you start becoming accountable to someone who's paying you to work 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Because they want you to only focus on that one thing that they've given you for those 3 hours that they are going to pay for. They don't want nothing else. They don't care about whatever. The world could be coming to an end. If they say, I need you to sweep, they just want you to sweep. When they say, I just need you to make these sandwiches, make the sandwich. Don't let them catch you on your cell phone trying to browse at the internet. Don't let them catch you texting your friends, even if it's an emergency. If there's an emergency, let them know first, hey, I have an emergency, I have to pick up this call. They don't have to like it because it's an emergency, but at least communicate. So I've realized that today it is so difficult, guys. It is difficult. I see younger people, teenagers, spending 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Guys, if you're spending 6 hours on social media right after school, if you get out of school at 3 p.m. and then you from 3 p.m. to 6, 7 hours, that's literally 9 p.m. 9 p.m. you're trying to go to school, you're trying to go to bed. You haven't done your homework. And then you remember, oh shoot, I got homework. You try to do everything in 1 hour and you're falling asleep. And then again, your friends text you in the midst of it and you're trying to get online again for about another 1 hour, 2 hours. It becomes 12 midnight. You're not going to have enough time to sleep. You haven't finished your homework. And you got to be up at 6 o'clock. At the latest at 7 to prepare for school. Guys, it is almost impossible for the world that we're living in for a child, a teenager to be successful without someone literally showing them what to do and how to do it. It is difficult in your 20s to be successful when you have never learned the basic skills, let alone go make money. We have a stigma on which job that you want. You have someone in their 30s or 40s or 50s who have started now life, meaning they've got a job of their dream, or maybe they're working for a company they may not necessarily like, but now they have bills. They know that they gotta work, and after work they're trying to look cute, they're trying to do all these things that they didn't get a chance to do when they were working. And you see them, they look swag, they approach you, they want to be friends with you, but you know they've got responsibilities. You do not have any responsibilities. You're still under somebody's roof. They are free. You want to be free with them because they're coming to mingle with you, which is one thing we ought to watch out for, guys. If you're looking for a companion, with a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you know you are in different age brackets, you've got to be able to now, you have to be forced to transition to understand both worlds, because that's what you chose. If someone is in 30s and 40s, they got a job. You are in your 20s or in your teens, you like them and you want to hang with them. There are certain things that you're going to start seeing earlier on in life that isn't for you. But because you chose to do that, then you have to assume the responsibilities that comes along with that. Does that make sense? But in our 20s, life start happening. You start to be accountable to time. You become conflicted because you've never learned how to manage your time. Now you are forced to learn how to manage time, which is why you find a lot of these young people, they quit jobs because on this job A, they don't like you because some of your habits in your teens, it is very difficult for you to just to switch them off in your 20s. Gradually, if you have someone who care enough about you, they might say, hey, listen, I need you when you are working to only focus A, B, C, D. The rest of these things, unless it's necessary, I don't want you to see it. And maybe they may they may actually give you some some lifeline so that if you get caught doing what that thing that they don't want you to do, at least they don't fire you right away. Remember, you've committed the time to somebody else. They're paying you for that very specific time. If it's 4 hours, those 4 hours they want you to do what they want you to do. You don't have to like it, so long as you say, hey, I am here for 4 hours, whatever they give you, you do. Now, if it's your own thing, you gotta be able to stick to those 4 hours. Be very disciplined. Because if you can, you won't be able to score money. And there are many ways to make money, by the way. If you don't want to compromise yourself, at least think about it in advance. Hey, how can I make money in the ways that it's not going to compromise my principles? In the ways that I'm not going to feel embarrassed? Never listen to your friend if they say, hey, don't worry, nobody will know. Come, let's just go. It's a quick money. Let's make this quick money. There's no such thing as quick money. What they don't tell you about quick money, behind the scenes, the way that quick money comes, you have to live it. You literally have to live the full life cycle of the quick money. But your friends are not honest enough to tell her, hey, this is what you have to do. Nobody in this world is going to give you money just like that without anything, without you giving back something about it. That's what they don't tell you teenagers. That's what they don't tell you in your 20s. Social media right now, especially places like TikTok, you see a lot of people having different lives. They gifting you here and left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. You don't have a job, or you don't have some sort of like activities that you do that generates some money, where you don't necessarily have to say, hey, if they don't gift me today, what's going to happen? Make those life goals and say, hey, how can I realistically keep on making this money consistently? In our 30s, 40s, and above, that train is already gone. What you did not learn in your 20s, you are forced to learn it in your 30s because now you are on your own most of the time. Since you are on your own, you have to worry about bills. You have to worry about responsibilities left and right, whether you like it or not. If you rent an apartment, you gotta pay. If you don't pay, they take you to court. If you fail to pay after the court, they kick you out. Your stuff, your belongings, and you find yourself sleeping on somebody's couch, your friend's couch. They can only tolerate you for a few days until you figure out what to do. Remember, you are an adult. You are a grown person. They're not going to let you crash on their couch for a month, 2 months without giving them something back. That's not going to happen. So if you have never learned those life skills where you have to be accountable and responsible for yourself, it'll be a tough work. It becomes very tough going forward. And we see this happening over and over and over and over. And unfortunately, if you have never learned, you only do as you know. You can only behave based on what you have learned. What you have never learned, you are not going to do it whether you are a teenager, in your 20s, 30s, and above. You can only do what you have been taught to do. So I want to literally say to you guys, especially in your 30s and above, if you want to hustle online, study the market, study the online, study where you want to hustle. Know that you're going to have to be disciplined. Get to find out, hey, who are these people that I'm going to be hustling online? If it's a regular job, get to know what does this job entail? What do I have to do to earn this money? Can I commit on this 6 to 8 hours? Guys, in your 30s, never get it twisted that an employer is going to pay you full time for doing 2 hours job, 3 hours jobs, unless it's a specialized project or job that you have. And they trust you enough to come through. Because remember, you are paid for the value, you are not paid for the time. You are paid for the value you're bringing in. You are not paid for time. And we've never learned that in school. And it's unfortunate that you can graduate in high school and the teacher have never taught you that. You can graduate in college if you have the opportunity to go to college, and they don't tell you that. You can start work and you never learn that. Oftentimes we stumble on these life lessons. But if we had a life lesson class where they keep it real with you, then those things becomes at no surprise, which is what I really wish to convey to you today, whichever age bracket that you are in. Of course, those who are already in the midst of their responsibilities, I'm preaching to the choir. In your 20s, you still have options. You may have your parents, you may have your guardian, you may have friends that you keep on crashing to their couches. Guys, I used to know guys who will crash at their parents, at their guardians, at their friends multiple days. You only calculate until they start getting, they become tired of you, and then you move on. That kind of lifestyle, you cannot maintain it. At some point, you're gonna have to be responsible for your own room, for your own roof. Especially if you are a hard-headed person when you're not listening to the rules at your parents or your guardians. They will kick you out. Or you may want yourself to go out because you say, no, I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm an adult. If you start becoming an adult earlier on in life, welcome to the bills of life. Welcome to real issues, real problems that you have to solve on a daily basis. You have to now be responsible for yourself, which is why when your friends say, "Hey, I got quick money, let's go crash this job here," especially you young ladies. If a guy is going to give you $1,000, don't you think that there is something that $1,000 is going to buy? Don't you think that you are going to be expected to work for the $1,000? If you have not thought of that in your 20s or teens, flash news, you will learn the hard way. You are going to learn the hard way. And it's killing a lot of young people today. Young people finding themselves in prostitutions without knowing how they got in it. Women are finding themselves in prostitutions without knowing how they got into it. Young people, young male. Today, this world is crazy. There are a lot of things happening, and you literally fall in and you're like, oh shoot, how did I get here? My parents never warned me about this. My guardian has never warned me about this. My teacher has never told me about this. My peers, we all stumble around it and we never knew what to do. Guys, this is real life scenario without fronting with you. You see us right now, we're doing broadcasts. This broadcast costs money. Behind this, there are a bunch of equipments. These equipments, they eat electricity. These equipments, they eat airtime. I don't have airtime of my own. I have to buy airtime. We have to buy airtime. There is money to buy airtime. But also someone who's switching all these, like a lot of these things that you see, there's always someone who's working on them that you don't see. It may look nice and fancy, but guys, this is an operation. You don't do it alone. You can do it alone if you have the skill set to, but when you're working with others, you gotta be accountable. So in other words, you have to learn that, hey, collectively, this is what we are able to do. Somebody's gonna eat, and the other person is gonna eat, you're gonna eat, and then you realize, oh shoot, how am I gonna take care of this? How am I gonna pull this off? Don't see that things look very glitter and very shiny and assume that it just fell from the sky looking shiny. That it just fell from the sky looking very glitter. There's work behind the scene that's being put into it. And that work is what sometimes they call it company secrets. They don't want to tell you how they got there, which is so uncool. So when we keep it real, we have to hustle. Guys, I hustle to find funds to get a lot of this work done. I literally hustle. I can't front you. I can't lie to you. I have to hustle because I don't have a blank check. And I also know that sometimes when you're going into your gift, there's a job and then there's your gift work. Your gift has to do with your work. You finance your own work. At a job, somebody is financing that job. So where are you gonna get the money to do your work? If you have $0 in your pocket, you're gonna have to put in some time. You're gonna have to learn how to be valuable so that you can find the extra funds that you need to come through. Are you with me? So why did I bother bringing this whole conversation? We have so much happening with our young people that they see things on social media and they want it all. Guys, I won't lie to you. Everybody loves something very nice, something sweet. We all love shiny things. Whether you are an old person who's 90 years old or someone who's 18 years old. And everybody is in between. I've never seen someone on planet Earth who doesn't like nice things. If somebody said, I don't really care about that, they're lying to you. Because behind the scene, when you're not looking, they look for those nicer things in their own way. So since we know that we like nicer things, how do we get those nicer things? Nicer things cost money. How do you get money without being compromised? If you have certain principles and you're looking for money, get to know how can I earn money without compromising myself. So that's where, as a young person, you know, go around, be around people that you can trust, who are not going to sell you for a dollar, who are not going to force you to compromise yourself before you even know what is happening. Like as a teenager, do those jobs or hang out with someone who's going to literally help you transition through your 20s without you compromising yourself, without you wishing that you had someone who looked after you, your very best. In your 20s, you are literally learning how to get rid of your bad habits as a teenager. The things that your parents were doing for you, you're gonna have to start learning how to do it for yourself. The things that your guardians were doing for you, you're gonna have to learn how to do it for yourself. If you've never tried now one single time to do it for yourself, in your 20s, you are going to be forced to learn how to do it. So again, get with someone who understands you. Get with someone who's going to help build yourself. Personal development in all those areas that you are, that you are still weak. Start slowly. Start slowly. Don't be in a hurry to get out of your parents' hut. Don't be in a hurry to get out of your guardian's hut. You're trying to go get a swag apartment when you just got a job that's not paying enough. Learn how to manage yourself. Learn how to manage yourself, your time. Learn how to manage your money so that you can know whether you can afford that apartment that you want to go in. Don't be in a hurry, guys. Because in your 30s and beyond, whether you are in a hurry or not, now it's being demanded upon you. And if you don't come through, they just eject you out like a bad habit with no pity whatsoever. So, because of different fields, if you're gonna be online, learn how to literally work online. It is not gonna fall in your lap. That's the bottom line. There's never been a single activity online that just drops money on your lap like that. You're gonna have to earn it. Even when you don't know how you're earning it, someone behind the scene has already designed this is how you're gonna make money. When you're on TikTok, for example, let's say that you're hosting people in your 20s, you're hosting them for 5 hours. Out of these 5 hours, you have an amazing topic and people like it. Same thing on Facebook, same thing on YouTube, same thing on X. When people like it, they might gift you something. On TikTok is the only place that I know where they can gift you right away. On X, on YouTube, on Facebook, they may gift you indirectly. But if the hustle you have is a part of making money, get to know that, hey, these are my daily goals. This is what I'm after every single day while I'm making money. Be intentional and consciously know that, hey, this is a part of my job for today. Don't be casual with it, Because if you're casual with it, I won't know whether I need to gift you or not. But I'm also going to expect something out of my gifting. There's no such thing as someone freely give you money. There's always something, there's always a reason behind you getting some funds. Possibly, if you can, do not compromise yourself in your 20s. Guys, someone can literally give you a lot of money. You're like, oh man, this guy really digs me. Oh, this lady really likes what I'm doing. They're not just liking what you're doing. Get to find out, why did you gift me? If you did not take the time to find out, go behind the scene. Get the contact of that person. Find out, hey, man, you really supported me. What's up? What's behind the scene? What's behind this gift? Because you don't want to be shocked that you got sold without you knowing how you got sold. We live in a harsh world today, young people. We live in a harsh world, you grown folks who are just getting online. You want to make sure that you don't find yourself in crazy situation that you've never thought you would find yourself in. Because a whole lot of people would not be kind enough to say, hey, you know what, this is how you got here. But we want to make sure that as a community, we don't fall and nobody gives us the, at least tells us, hey, this is how you fell. I don't want to see our teenagers, I don't want to see our 20s falling unnecessarily for something that we could have said, hey, had you gone left, everything would have been okay. Have you just waited a little bit, you could have gotten that without having to compromise yourself. So as I'm wrapping it up, guys, because I know to those of you who are older, if you haven't made enough money, then you're in trouble. Real talk. Because as you go past your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and so on, the bills always visit you for life. And if you have never, put something on the side, you are going to struggle. You are going to struggle. And that struggle will be real. It will be stress. Especially when you live outside of, Africa. Guys, the struggle is real. In Europe, in the United States, the struggle is real. Even in Africa, the struggle is real. But in these outside of Africa, guys, people, like, you're on your own 100%. If you don't have at least a family that you can connect with. And that struggle is no joke, guys. It's no joke. Whether you're online or offline, wherever it is that you, that you're doing your work, bottom line, until you literally check out, until you go back in heaven where you came from, bills are always going to be with you. Responsibilities are all, they are always going to be with you. Learn how to tap into your gifts. Learn how to create a stream of income that stays there for life, whether you have a job or not. That's why we have things like gig economics, or when you realize that, hey, I'm really good at this thing or that thing, start discovering who you are as a person. Start discovering what you can add value to, and someone freely gives you a monetary exchange saying, hey, thank you so much for doing this. I never knew you were good at this. Those are the lessons we've never learned in school, whether primary school, secondary school, or universities. They deliberately do not teach us those things because they make you independent. And the last time I checked, this world wants you to be literally under somebody's finger. Modern slavery, guys, is real. When you cannot be independent in your thought, when you cannot be independent in your activities, when you cannot be independent in the way you spend your time, you're in trouble. And a lot of these young people, even in their 20s and 30s, they're still struggling because they don't have a blueprint to life. And every life is unique, guys. My template may not work for you. It may partially work for you, but it may not necessarily take care of it all for you. Which is why you have to take the time and say, hey, who am I as a person? What kind of person am I? When everything is quiet and it is you, yourself, and you. Who are you? Do you really know yourself? When your friends are not there to cheer you up, when your parents are not there to cheer you up, when your guardians are not there to cheer you up, who are you? How can you move forward? How can you make money when an employer doesn't want to give you money because they just don't know you? How do you make funds? How do you make life? How do you transition through? These are scary times, guys. These are scary times, and these things are happening on the daily lives. So while the internet has made the whole entire world a small village, right now you can jump into from one community, one digital community to another, and we're constantly jumping in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But all these communities, they have guidelines, they have ethics, they have way of lives. And if you're not really sure how you got into this community or that community, you can easily find yourself compromised. Because first and foremost, they didn't teach you what it is, or you didn't do your own due diligence. So learn how to do your own due diligence in any digital community that you may find yourself in. Not just any digital community, even the real community. Because your life depends on it, guys. Teenagers, don't just fall in any community without knowing it. No matter how sweet it looks, no matter how tasty it is, don't just fall in it. You guys in your 20s, don't just join this and that and that. Learn how to manage your time. Learn how to be valuable. Pay attention to what people are liking about you. Is it a physical like? Is it an activity that you're able to do? Is it a gift that you have? Be able to differentiate those things. Because in the end, that's what you're going to use in your 30s. At work, but also at your job and at your work. Work is a gift. That gift that you have, if you can translate it into money, getting paid, preferably money that keeps on coming. Do that. Out of your 24 hours, put aside some time that you can actually focus on those gifts. Focus on that work. And that's after the job that you have, guys. If you're spending 8 hours or 10 hours to somebody's job, you're not going to do your work at your job. You're going to have to separate it. So managing the time to sleep, managing the time to go to somebody's job, and managing the time to do your work or your gift. Those are things that now you are confronted with in your 30s, sometimes in your 20s. But in your 30s and above, you have no choice. You have no choice, guys. So those of you guys who want to grow so quickly, who are in a hurry to grow up, I would really kindly say slow down. Literally slow down. Take the time, listen to your parents. Take the time, listen to your guardians. Take the time and listen to your mentor. Those who literally take it upon themselves to guide you, to show you certain things in life that you're not aware of. Pay attention. Do not bring a big head when you have no idea what these people are talking about. Take some time to learn, and then apply what you believe is good for you, and then discard what you think is not good for you. But in the end, you're gonna have to start from somewhere. Same thing with in any job that you're gonna go through. Now all the jobs are going to be sexy. The job that isn't sexy but not compromising you, do it anyway. Be old enough to say, hey, you know what? I may not like this job, but at least it's earning me money and I don't have to compromise myself. Since you still have the stigma of a job that's not good, that you do not want, then find out your skill set, find out your gift. Take a few hours and learn how to work on your gift so that someone can give you money for your gift. Because your gift, you can take it anywhere. Your gift, you can pay unlimited amount of money with it. Where at job, they only pay you what they say, hey, I'm only going to give you this amount of money and that's it. Young people, these are the lessons they don't teach in primary school, in secondary school. They don't teach them in college or universities. You learn them in a school of life. School of life doesn't play with you guys. School of life doesn't care. School of life doesn't see whether you are 5 years old or 50. School of life has principles that are just there in plain black and white. They don't care whether you're old or you just stumble into it. They just work. And that's just the way it is. So, I know that I may be scaring a lot of you young people, especially since I started with you. But make sure that you have certain principles. You have certain guidelines that keeps you protected from being compromised, especially as a teenager. Stay away from your peers who are either forcing you to do things that you don't want to do. who are sending you to become a bad person, or like taking you to a situation where you find yourself like doing the things that you never thought you would be doing. Because those things are going to hurt you in the long run. Even in your 20s, if you're working hard for swag, but you find yourself having to compromise yourself as a woman or as a man, watch out for those things. It may seem harmless, but the trauma that will come with that, it may last for a lifetime. You may regret later on, like, man, if I knew better, I would have behaved differently. You can make money in so many ways. Take some time and learn, hey, which way do I want to make money? Which way do I want to earn money? And make sure that way that you want to earn money, you are satisfied with, you are okay with. Because anything outside of that is really going to hurt you. And I would want to see you succeed and not get hurt, which is why we're discussing this. The biggest reason behind all of this, we are seeing a lot of young people falling. We are seeing a lot of these young people in their teens, in their 20s, even some in their 30s, who are literally find themselves in a harm's way, where they can't bring it back, where they can't take it back. And life becomes not only difficult, but they fall off the bandwagon. And it's sad to see that, guys. It is really, really, really sad to see that. So, guys, today I'm on point. Let me see if I can read some of your comments, and then we will leave, because I only have about 7 minutes left before we go. Freeman, thank you so much for sharing with us. We know it's easier said than done. Yes, it is very much easy to say it than to put it into action, which is why I hardly recommend that those of you who literally are transitioning through your 20s, start slowly. Learn how to manage your time. Learn which friends that you can work with, which friends that you can hang out with during this time period where you are trying to do something that is very beneficial to you. Because if you're hanging out with with those friends who are looking for quick cash, that quick cash comes with some carrots attached to it. And some of these carrots you may not want. Those of you who don't understand the carrots, there's not a single dollar that's going to come your way that doesn't have something that it is asking of you or from you. As a young lady, get to know your body is one of the biggest primary thing that the entire world is looking for today. Your body is the commodity, is the highest expensive commodity we have today. Get to know that as a young woman, even young men. Your body is one of the highest commodity. If you've never learned how to manage it, learn today in your 20s, because it is going to be used against you, but it can also use helping you in a way that's gonna be very good for you. So, guys, let me wrap it up. I want to say today that we live in a very complex world. We live in a world that no longer sees a child and respect that child to grow as a child. We live in a world that's taking advantage of every person regardless of your age. You could be a minor and someone may see you and say, hey, I really like this child. Whose child is it? If your parents are not around, if your guardian are not around, they may pull you up and take advantage of you as a minor, not even a teen. We have people who are taking advantage of young people today. So be in an environment where you could be protected. Be in an environment where your parent or your guardian can see what's happening with you and protect you. Be in an environment where your friends are really good friends. They're not gonna throw you under the bus, and before you know it, make you wish you never have met them. There's so many worse things that are happening to young people today, as teenagers and in the 20s, that have a detrimental experience of life as you transition through being a full-fledged adult. Don't be one of those people. Be on the lookout for one another. Have at least one real friend who won't tell you who will not lie to you when you are under danger, because you're gonna need them. Have a mentor. Search for a mentor, someone who's gonna care for you self-development without caring whether you look cute or whether you come from a good family or whether you don't have anybody else looking after you. Find that someone who could be invested in your well-being, in your personal development, without anything else attached to it. There are those people there, but you gotta look carefully so you don't fall in the lions of these wolves, clothed in sheep's clothes. So guys, that's it for me today. I'm grateful for the opportunity you have afforded me to serve you today. It's not easy. We know that this work is not easy, but we can get it done. Guys, I am very much interested in making sure that as a people, especially brothers and sisters, Africans, brothers and sisters, that we move forward as one people, as one body. I am very interested in seeing us breaking this invisible shackle that we have been given as modern slavery. I am very interested in deciphering the code, the formula for self-development, the formula for becoming successful without being in invisible shackles. I'm very much interested in learning how to become successful through my own gifts, not just a job there. Because the job, you can lose a job at any given time, but your gifts stay with you for life. Your work stay with you for life. If you can earn money through your work, through your gifts, there's no better life than that. It's just like a bird flying or a fish swimming. You are happy swimming. So, and I would love for you to have an experience of life from those lenses. All right. So with that in mind, guys, let me be out of here. It is such an amazing opportunity that I have been given to come through today to hang with you guys. And I also want to tell you that we are going to push through. We are going to push through. We want to do well for ourselves. We want to do well for our families. We want to do well for our communities. But we also want to do well for our nations. Africans, literally, you are needed. We are needed for tomorrow's world to solve the problems, the opportunities ahead of us. Africa is the youngest population on the entire planet right now. So if you do not plan for tomorrow's success, you are failing to plan for tomorrow as an individual, as a family, as a community. And we don't want to give a chance to that. All right? So guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to serve you today. I am Freeman Singirankabo here at AfriDominion Studio. I want to wish you guys a beautiful day wherever that you are. If you're going to bed, have a beautiful evening. If you are waking up early in the morning next day or whichever time zone that you are on, I want to wish you a beautiful day today. And if you are on our time zone here in the United States, I want to wish you a good afternoon. Until I see you again tomorrow, have yourself a beautiful day. Peace.